So, what was the thing that you said when we started this? If they tell you to look right, look left, or was it if they tell you to look left, look right? It was one of those. Yeah.
I can't recall.
But it was if you're really being led to look in one direction, take the time to look in the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
So you know me, I always read Wyatt's mailbag. I haven't sent him a text and said, "Are you trying to tell us something?" He sent me back a smiley face emoji. That's it.
Oh, well, what did he say? I didn't read his mailbag.
So here you go. Every week there's at least one thing in there. And I'll tell you, just full disclosure, I don't always read the long rants from people because sometimes they'll all be mad about one thing and they all just send, why would you fire Mike Vrabel? I just go straight through and read all his responses.
His response.
First.
Oh, he's really good, too.
Oh, he's the best.
Oh, man, I was like, I wish I could do that.
So, and Jim, you may be listening. Maybe you were just playing around with me. I don't know. So, Darius Mays from Carrollton, Texas, asked this question. Hello, Jim. I pray all is well. I just wanted to say Happy New Year. I'm with Amy's decision to fire Mike V. It was his time to go. I see we have a lot of upset people in here for that. People keep forgetting he cut our top 5. I don't know what that. Then this person just kind of gets lost in their own weeds. And it ends with this. I would like my top list to be, in order, Bobby Slowick, Ben Johnson, Dan Quinn, Mike McDonald, Brian Callahan, and Mike Kafka. That's this person's top 6. Have a blessed day. That's Darius from Carrollton, Texas. And Jim responded, thanks for the list, Darius. We'll see if even more candidates emerge this week. Because everything else was thanks for writing, or I appreciate your response, or, Feliz Navidad, or whatever he said to him.
So he knows there's other candidates.
So I said, hey, man, are you yanking our chain here? Is this a I sent him a message basically with the screen cap of this I just read and said, what's going on here, man? Are you messing with us? And he just sent back a smiley face emoji.
Oh, he's sprinkling. He's sprinkling
Sometimes
on top
he
there.
sprinkles the magic dust out.
Oh, no, you read him better than anybody. You've been on point every time. You've read Jim White. Every time. There's smoke there.
He put that smiley face on. He goes, I know something.
Let's make a guess. Who do you think it is?
That is the $1 million question. Who is it?
I have no idea.
I mean, it could be.
I have no idea. Besides everybody that's been listening, I'm trying to. I don't know.
Frank Smith, the OC out of Miami, was one that popped up a lot for the Titan for like who should be interested, or if teams looking should be very interested in him. I was very surprised that he hadn't been requested yet. Maybe he's one. I know last week when all the head coach openings started coming out, that he got a lot of high reviews and high praise from players and coaches down in Miami. So that could be one, if I had to guess.
I have no idea.
Well, you figure if anybody who's talking to Belichick, do you think Belichick is telling them, I run the whole show? That's just the way I got to do it. So when he's talking to Arthur Blank, is he like, look, you can call somebody the general manager, but ultimately Uncle Billy's making all the calls.
Do the Falcons have a GM or?
Yes.
They do.
Ryan Pace.
Yeah.
So,
And he's new.
Well,
Well, when I say that, I guess he's been there 2 or 3 years? Or maybe even longer. No. He got there the year before Arthur? I'm not sure, but he's a newer.
So he's younger, or
Yeah.
younger tenured, yeah.
I don't know. It could be the way it's going now, man. I think there's going to be candidates all over the place. It could be a special team coordinator,
I don't think
John Harbaugh. Did you know that?
what, that Harbaugh was a
The special teams coach.
special teams coordinator? I did not.
Yeah, he was special team coordinator when I was on the roster there with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Look at him now.
Well, see, that's what I say. This process is nobody knows. And guess what I said? What you would probably say. How are they going to hire him when they interviewed him? He's a special team coach.
Yeah.
But only if you were in that locker room did you know he had great leadership skills. You know why? Because he was dealing with not only starters, but also backups. And the backups who didn't want to be on the special team. As I've told stories before, he MF'd me for just jogging down on kickoff almost every day until I finally said, okay, I'm going to run. Then I pulled my groin.
Well, that's why I brought up Frank Smith. He doesn't call plays down there. That's Mike McDaniel's offense. But from what I saw from players from Miami and other coaches in Miami is that he is a leadership guy. and that a lot of people are drawn to him.
See, never know. Don't know too much about Frank Smith. Doesn't call plays. Neither does Brian Callahan. He didn't
Does
call plays
not.
either.
No,
He's
he
a
does
quarterback coach. Doesn't mean he won't be a good head coach. Don't mean he will.
Mystery candidates.
Come on, Mickey. You got to come out one. You gonna come out with one? Look, you gonna look through all the rosters on the other teams?
No, I got.
Watch this. I'm gonna say something that's just gonna ignite controversy. Because I have not thought about this guy, but what I have thought about, and I know there's a lot of baggage behind him. But I'm just wondering why he hadn't gotten an interview. Who do you think that is?
I'm interested. You got me like hooked over here, Blaine.
And he got a lot of interviews last year.
Oh, is it Eric Bieniemy?
Exactly.
Bum, bum, bum.
I was just like, what happened to him?
He interviewed for the Titans OC job, didn't he?
No,
Did he?
I don't know. I don't remember that. Did he? I don't remember.
I've
Or
said
was he
since
just
then.
was he just one of those fans
I
like
don't-
throwing his
I
name
don't
out
think
over and
so.
over again?
I don't remember that one.
I think that would have gotten people. People would still be mad and talking
See?
about that. I
Mhm.
think.
I just well, man, he interviewed for, I don't know, a couple of jobs last year, right? Or that was the big deal that he wasn't getting a lot of interviews, but he only got one or two.
Yes.
Yeah, they requested to. They requested the offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy and senior assistant coach Matt Nagy for their open OC job last year.
The Titans.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And then they went and hired Tim Kelly.
Okay. He was right down the hallway.
Well, that might have been over Zoom.
Yeah, they zoomed with him. Hey, man, don't leave your office. We're going to make this like it's really going. Here were the original Bet Online odds. That's what I was looking for. This is everybody that they put out. Mike McDonald, Bill Belichick, Ben Johnson, who's the Lions OC, Jim Harbaugh, Bobby Slowick, Eric Bieniemy, Dan Quinn, Lincoln Riley, Frank Smith, Shane Bowen, Shane Waldron, who's the Seattle OC, Brian Callahan, who had low odds, Arthur Smith at 20-1. The odds are getting lower. Todd Monken, who's the Ravens OC.
That's a good one.
Aaron Glenn. This is one that I was told to watch out for by somebody a couple of weeks ago. Well, as soon as this happened, a week ago.
So this is your person that you said look out for?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So you're asking me one. Raheem Morris, Rams DC.
Oh, yeah, I saw that on social media.
Anthony Lynn, who's the 49ers assistant head coach and running backs, and Uncle Jim Schwartz. Those were all the listed odds when
That's my long shot.
all this dropped. Jim Schwartz,
Yeah, that's my long shot.
certainly familiar with him. He certainly knows his way around the city and the building.
Does that skew because the
Short
defense plays so horrible and Texas just ate them up?
Isn't
Does
that
that
funny?
change your thought process?
No, one
Well,
game.
that's the same thing with Dan Quinn.
Yep, no, as I said, everybody is like, oh, I'm like, hey, look, come on, man. Hey, you win some, you lose some. So,
Isn't that crazy though? Like Dan Quinn, how could anybody want him now? Everybody wanted him the day before that game. How many interviews does he have? Like 5, I think. 5.
He just
City.
just interviewed for Titans last night.
Yeah.
And then I think he's got another interview with LA at the end of the week.
So you're looking at a body of work because everybody gets got sometimes. Everybody gets got, and you may have had great scheme, but what if I called to play Bananas and Blaine and me played our exact role and you lost outside contain? Or what if players out there trying to make big plays in a playoff game? And it's not all of that because there were times they got their scheme guys wide open, but it's a mix of things that happen. You can't bury a guy just because of one game. But that's been a big narrative for some of these dudes who lost in the first round of the playoffs.
That's a big narrative from the fans' point of view.
Yes, I don't want that guy. They lost. No, man, it's
I
one
get
game.
it. I get it, but
Timmy Sama in the F&M Big Chat, thanks, Timmy, helped us out here with Eric Bieniemy. He was requested by the Titans, but he declined. Remember, he declined to he declined the interview. He didn't want to come here.
I guess he did some digging on that old line. Thought, well, I don't know if I can run, but I want to run over there.
Well, then he went to Washington. Their O-line was just as bad. Sam Howell got sacked the most times in the league.
Yeah.
the reason why he went there bananas is because Ron Rivera was on the staff there with the Eagles when Andy Reid was the head coach. And so, hence, Andy Reid told Ron Rivera,
That's
you
your
need
guy.
to hide that guy.
That's
You
your
hide
guy.
that guy.
Yep.
Wow.
Connections work.
I just, or he might not get an opportunity even to do that one.
All right, we'll throw it out there. Who's your mystery candidate for the Titans? If Jim Wyatt's mailbag was truly an Easter egg, we'll put it out there. Who is your mystery candidate for the Titans that we don't know about? Because we're throwing names out there. We're trying to guess some people. If you think it's Bieniemy or Raheem Morris or whoever you think it is, remember, they don't have to report this stuff. It only gets out for any type of political reason. The team wants the fans to know they interviewed somebody. Somebody's agent wants the world to know their client got the interview. So who might they be talking to? Mystery candidate for the Titans. Love to get your perspective on this. 615-737-1045. It's Blaine and Mickey, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors, when trust matters. So Jim Wyatt mentioned in his mailbag to a person who had written in and basically said, here's my top 6 candidates, Jim. And Jim responded, nice list. Maybe I'll read you the exact quote. And this just got me thinking. Thanks for the list, he says. We'll see if even more candidates emerge this week. So what does that mean? What mystery candidate could be out there? Joseph, what are we hearing and seeing on the F&M Bank chat there?
Well, the Pelican 3 says Nick Saban. Lonzo Wright says it's Mike. Lonzo Wright says it's Mike Vrabel. He is the dark horse. I don't think so.
Huh?
Tighten Up Tony has a good one. Terrell Williams, who was named the head coach of the American team at the Reese's Senior Bowl.
Typically, somebody on the previous staff is never usually the head coach.
True.
Typically, I've never seen that happen. Maybe interim during a season, but not typically does that happen.
A lot of people, I've had a couple Todd Munkins from the Ravens OC. A lot of people are really liking Callahan. I think once they announced that he was getting a second interview, I think a lot of people did some research on him, and fans are starting to fall in love with him. And I think Blaine kind of contributed that with talking about him possibly bringing his dad and T. Higgins along. I think people fell in love with that
And
idea.
I have no idea if he'll be a good head coach.
True.
None. But you never know. It's interesting though that he's been in the football world for a long time. These are some of the red flags that I want to know when you talk about Brian Callahan. Why haven't you called plays? You've been in this industry for a while. You was at Washington, I think. I'm just curious. I know the head coach is the head coach. So obviously you have a good relationship with him, but he doesn't let you call plays?
Yeah, Callahan, Denver, Detroit,
Where was he? Yes. He was never
Oakland, then Oakland,
Right,
and
he's there.
and the
he was never-
Bengals.
okay, he was never with Washington. Okay.
He was the QB's coach at the Raiders. It was the same year that he interviewed for the Titans OC job.
Right. So that would be something, just looking at his resume, why weren't you ever elevated to OC? See? It could be nothing. It could be an answer to that. Because that means whoever he brings as his OC going to be calling plays. Because he's never called plays. I got somebody named Will Levis. You're probably good at developing quarterbacks, but and no, a lot of these coaches don't even care if you call plays before, which is real interesting to me. It is a craft.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about a tough craft to understand how to call plays and layer them, as Coach Mack talks about, and then setting up another play. And sometimes it's not going to work, but you're trying to see what they're doing. That's what the 15-play first, scripted plays are, is actually to identify what is your plan of attack by defense. And then what is your counter to that? So, and they act like you can just go play on video games and figure out how to call plays. I don't know, man.
Are you telling me my Madden experience isn't going to be useful in the NFL?
That's what I'm saying. They act like that you can learn from that way. Maybe you can. I thought it was a really unique craft. Now, there are a lot of head coaches who have never called plays before on offense or defense and have been successful. That's what I said. You just kind of find that leader within all of that. But you also want them to have a backdrop just in case things hit the fan and, what side of the ball are they actually helping besides being the CEO. So that's why I said this is an inexact science.
Yeah.
As I just told you, John Harbaugh was a special team coach, and he got hired, and I was like, what are the Ravens doing? And I was on the team with him. And a great leader, but I was like, well, he has no experience. At that time, my mindset was probably like most people, is like, well, he never called plays or anything. Nothing. Dude, head coach. Great head coach. And they identified it. The Ravens did.
Well, look.